Guys, this is your streamer Carlos. On today's video, I'm gonna give you my review of episode 15 of season 3 of The Big Bang Theory. The road chicken loving nerd and the corn sick mousse. So here we go, guys. I love this episode. But first, point of order. When I mean road chicken, when I say road chicken, I mean rotisserie chicken. So that's and you will hear why in just a second. So just point of order. So if you see the word row and chicken together or spaced out, I mean rotisserie chicken. So anyway, here we go. So in this episode, it's the first Valentine's Day episode of The Big Bang Theory in general, but it's mostly focused on everyone, meaning Howard, Raj, Leonard, Penny, and Sheldon, but mostly focused on Penny, Leonard, and Sheldon. When Leonard is invited to Switzerland to see a super awesome new super particle collider in Switzerland, and since the trip is posted to be or taking place around V-Day or Valentine's Day, Leonard sees this as a perfect opportunity, a perfect time to basically spend his first Valentine's Day ever with Penny in Switzerland, which is awesome. But I know what you're going to say. But Penny doesn't like super colliders. You're right, guys. She doesn't have a clue what a super collider is. But Leonard doesn't mind of going alone and seeing the super collider. Then, after going alone and seeing this awesome super collider, he and Penny will do romantic stuff in Switzerland. Valentine's Day stuff. Just the two of them. And that's it. But one problem. Sheldon. That's the problem. And again, just like I said, Sheldon, just like I said to you by myself just now, Penny is not a super collider person. Is not interested in super colliders. So Sheldon thinks that why are you, Leonard, why are you picking Penny to go with you to Switzerland and see this awesome super collider? Well, again, so Leonard explains to him. Yes, explains to Sheldon. Yes, Penny, she might not like and find super colliders interesting like us. But Sheldon, this trip falls in time with V-Day or Valentine's Day. And again, Sheldon is clueless. What what Valentine's Day means in Leonard's point of view. And but Leonard sticks is 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 stuck to the ground like a glue, like Kryptonian glue. Yes, Kryptonian glue, and tells Sheldon, I'm not taking you. By the way, guys, Leonard had the wonderful offer of not going by himself on this trip. So this is why picked he picked Penny. Not only because it felt this trip falls around the time of Valentine's Day, but he had the option, and he picked Penny because it's a romantic place. But anyway, Leonard sticks to the glue. Stick is sticking to the ground with this Kryptonian glue, and tells Sheldon, "No, you're not going. I'm taking Penny. That's it. That's it." Meanwhile, for Raj and Howard, but mostly for Raj normally spends V-Day or Valentine's Day alone eating roe chicken, meaning rotisserie chicken, and hang and then hang, then hanging out then hanging out with Howard for a bit, then goes back to his goes back to his old clock tower apartment, and watches romantic movies and eats the rest of his roe chicken, meaning rotisserie chicken. So, but this year, meaning in this episode, it's different because uh now now that Howard and Bernadette are together, their boyfriend and girlfriend. So poor Raj is left in the icy cold the icy cold spoon of lonely heartbreaking ice cream, and and he and he's upset, and he basically shows his upsetness with Howard, and Valentine's Day all together by saying, "Would you stop, Howard, talking about you and Bernadette? We get it. I get it, or we get it, or I get it. I'm alone. I'm a lonely. I'm a lonely. I'm a lonely I'm a lonely loving nerd that comes from the wonderful country of India that created curry, that make the ultimate curry, and meanwhile you and Bernadette are going to have a fancy romantic dinner, or not a fancy romantic dinner, but kind of semi romantic Valentine's Day dinner at P.F. Chang's. So that was Howard and Roger's situation. Meanwhile, Sheldon was still insisting that he should go, that he's the better option to go with Leonard to Switzerland instead of Penny. But again, Leonard sticks to his original ground with this time with extra Kryptonian glue, and still says no to Sheldon, until one fateful until two nights or 2 nights later in the laundry room or on laundry night or almost to laundry night. Sheldon sees Penny in the laundry room and shows Penny a very elaborate and very specific and awesome funny PowerPoint of why he should go to Switzerland with Leonard instead of her. And eventually, Penny agrees with him and to Sheldon, says to Sheldon, says to Sheldon, uh, all right, if it means that much to you that you get to see this awesome super collider with Leonard in Switzerland, I'll convince him. I'll convince him that you should go instead of me. And she did. Penny did, but with the extra detail that basically, she told Leonard that basically Sheldon sucked sucked her in and convinced her to tell Leonard that she didn't want to go because of guilt. Be- basically, guys, basically, guys, what I'm trying to say is that Sheldon pour, poured on poor Penny, and soaked her wet with guilt with Swiss chocolate guilt sauce. And this guilt sauce was very guilt chocolate guilt chocolate guilt chocolate guilt chocolate sauce was very thick and very pourable and very wet. So poor Penny was just 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 soaking just a mess. Her hair was figuratively in a figuratively speaking with guilt chocolate Swiss sauce. So what did Penny do? Basically told what I just told you to Leonard. And again, Leonard said no to Sheldon. But this time, his Leonard stuck to his original ground with Kryptonian extra strength, extra House of L Kryptonian glue, and said and this time it wasn't atypical no to Sheldon. It was a super fortress of no's to Sheldon. That I'm going with Penny. But in a twist of Kryptonian glue fate, as Leonard and Penny were celebrating that Leonard was able to convince Sheldon that he wasn't going to Switzerland with Leonard, and that Leonard was taking Penny instead of him, meaning Sheldon. All of a sudden, one night, while talking about how excited they were, Penny got super allergies that turned into a Kryptonian crippling type of flu. And so Leonard had no choice to but to re resend his or unglue his his feet to his powerful kryptonian glue kryptonian kryptonian glue 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 kryptonian glue feet and then stick to this to the floor and then stick his both feet both of his feet to this kryptonian glue floor and say to Sheldon to Sheldon to Sheldon to Sheldon to Sheldon Sheldon, Penny's sick. Penny's super kryptonian 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 flu kryptonian flu kryptonian flu kryptonian flu kryptonian flu kryptonian flu. She has a some sort of super kryptonian flu that might turn her into a a sick evil version sick evil version of Lex of a corn 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 destroyer that Lex Luthor is if he was from Nebraska. If he was from Nebraska. So, but here's the kicker. Leonard Sheldon was sick too. So, naturally, Leonard did some deductive reasoning and thought that and came up with the conclusion that 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 Sheldon made 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 a viral his own flu virus to get to Penny. But that wasn't the case because that wasn't the case, guys. Because when Sheldon showed Penny his PowerPoint, his his very super detailed reason reasonable according to him PowerPoint of why you should go instead of Penny to Switzerland with her boy toy, meaning Leonard. She, after seeing that PowerPoint, Penny said, "I'll talk to Leonard," and Sheldon said, "Thank you," but not only thank you, but for the first time, but for the first time since episode 11 of season 2, Sheldon Sheldon on his own gave Penny 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 a hug, a hug. And after that, we all know what happens. Sheldon gets sick, so we Sheldon gets sick, but we think, but Leonard thinks, but Leonard naturally surmises that maybe Sheldon Sheldon made his own flu virus and contracted it self contracted his own creation of a flu to get to Penny. So, but that wasn't the case because when Sheldon and Penny were both taking care of each other, Penny said to sick Sheldon in her sick voice, you're welcome, sweetie." Sheldon had a flashback, a flashback, and when he gave his own without any prompt, without any without any prompt from anyone. He did this on his own again. After giving the hug, after giving the hug to Penny, again, all on his own for the second time, and when Penny said, "Thank you, sweetie, thank you, sweetie," she had not turned into she had not turned into a she had not shown any symptoms of getting sick or any or shown any symptoms of her allergy that eventually turned into her flu. So when Sheldon saw this flashback, and when when Penny said thank you, when Sheldon gave her the hug, he basically said, "You did this. I'm sick because of you. We're both sick because of you." And again, Penny said said you're welcome, sweetie. But that's not it. That's not all, guys. Because in a funny twist of Saint Saint loving chocolate Cupid dude Cupid Cupid dude since Penny and Sheldon were sick, and since Howard and Bernadette were spending Valentine's Day by themselves, Leonard still had to pick someone to go with him to Switzerland to see this super awesome collider, and he picked Raj, and Raj had a good time. Leonard probably had a good time with Raj. I'm pretty sure he did, even though we didn't see it. Even though we didn't see them having a good time, but I'm pretty sure that they did. And with that, this is how this wonderful V Day of an episode ends. So with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. Please don't doubt it, please, and hit that like button. And if you want to get notified about my latest updates, please don't doubt and hit that notification bell. And if you want to expand your time here on my nerdy channel, and to see all my other content besides my Big Bang Theory content, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So with that being said, guys, until we Swiss chocolate again and again. If you see the words roe chicken spaced out or together, I mean rotisserie chicken. So with that being said, guys, until we Swiss nerd chocolate again, bye.